Steven.
Good
How
to
are
see
you? Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
joining me today for this walk and talk.
Thank you for coming to the
Yeah.
design school to chat.
Can't wait. You have spent your life trying to reimagine design,
Yes.
and to reimagine it from a perspective that originates in indigenous practices.
Yep.
And so I wonder if you could just give a little bio of yourself, where you're coming from, where you've practiced, and what's the nature of the work you do.
Sure. So my mother is, well, I'm a member of the Saddle Lake First Nation in northern Alberta. So we are from very far north. We're Cree. I ended up going to architecture school, which of course for many Indigenous people, I was first generation, right?
Yeah.
Nobody in your extended line has gone to university. But it was something that was of interest to me after I traveled.
Right.
When I came back to North America, I thought, why are we so not attached? We're not attached to our cultural traditions here, which is such a large proportion of Indigenous people in this country, in North America, South America. And so I ended up studying architecture and, of course, focusing entirely on how do we celebrate and honor our Indigenous cultures of this land. And since then, I've been working mainly with tribal communities in North America, in Canada and the US, and really trying to understand, had we not have been interrupted in our history, in our American history and Canadian history, interruption with policies and residential schools, boarding schools, what would our architecture have become?
So often we think of design as prospective only, imagining what could be that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. But you're saying it's important to have this historical knowledge and to honor that knowledge before you even begin a project.
Oh, definitely. So there's a lot of background research that is done.
Right.
But then also connecting with people from the community who understand the protocols, and then going into a community with really a blank slate. As much as we can clear our preconceptions and our ideas of what their architecture should be,
right,
is really going in with a completely blank canvas. And then going back to the community and having them comment on what we thought we heard. We thought we heard you say this, are we correct?
Right.
And giving the community
time to respond
in a communication method that they can respond to.
Right. What are the challenges and the opportunities around lifting up Indigenous knowledge systems so that they are not in museums, but actually part of our contemporary world of tools that we use to solve problems and to advance community?
Well, I think a really good example here would be to compare the knowledge generation that's happening at ASU, where we have a focus on transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary knowledge systems.
Right.
But the challenge is how to get all of those systems to work together. And coming from a holistic knowledge practice where there isn't a silo of knowledge within the environment, because it's
right,
connected with the health of the people, which is connected with the social well-being, which is connected with the cultural traditions. Everything exists in a holistic, interdependent system that I think we are aiming toward here at ASU, and I think there's a parallel that needs to be drawn between those two.
Right. So this whole experiment of the New American University and the transdisciplinarity and the fusion of knowledge, we could look at Indigenous practices as a model for us in understanding how to work better together and how to thread together so many different strands of thinking and living and knowledge.
Yes, yeah.
So I want to ask you a question that I try to ask everybody, which is, you're an extraordinary creative person. How do you think about deploying your creativity to change the world? What is it that you want to see happen as the result of the creative actions and thoughts that you're adding to our world?
I would say, I think what I'm really excited about right now, which I think has a tremendous amount of potential, is the accessibility of information. Mm-hmm. So with online learning, I think there's a tremendous potential to bring learning away from the center as a university to communities, and also to bring that knowledge back. So almost like a reciprocal process of knowledge building between the two. So I think if I was to push, how would I think, what would I want to do in the next couple of years? I would like to take a mobile design and architecture bus and bring it out to our communities and do interactive design on wheels.
I love it. Let's do it. So after this, we'll go out and shop for a bus.
A bus. We need a bus.
And refit it, design it, and then we'll hit the road.
Yes, bring architecture of the people to the people.
I love it. Wanda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great chat, and look forward to working with you.